You should probably intro. We should say something. Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you?
Who gets the extreme pleasure of editing us? Because that's a full-time job. It'll be like, no, don't say that. Emery's like, I can edit your podcast. I'll charge you $250 an episode. And I'm like, girl, the roof over your head is the $250 I'm paying you to edit my episodes. The food in your face, that's your $250. That's
Yeah,
what I.
is she gonna edit it, or is that something, a new skill I need to learn?
I hope it's not a skill that either of us have to learn, because that something's going to have to fall out of my brain. It might be a critical skill, so we can give it to her, and then she's like,
Oh.
"What?" She's like, "Once you make money, though, then you're going to have to pay me." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that then."
After you've paid me back for giving you life.
Yeah, how much is my vagina worth to you? That thing is priceless, I
Oh
think.
my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's priceless. Although these days they tell us like everything's wrong with it. You need a complete
I know.
redo of your vagina because apparently, it's not. But I was like, wait, it's a self-cleaning organ. It like gets smaller, it does all these things, and yet there's like commercials and stuff everywhere, those damn advertisers telling me that like I need to get it all redone. Like
I
apparently
know.
there needs to be a whole like reno.
A whole vajazzling. It's like you did a couple of kids. Now your house is beat up. Anyways,
Okay, I don't want this to be our inaugural episode because I look like shit. And I'm
listen.
also pretty
You'll
high
be
on
real.
NyQuil. I'm pretty
That'll
high on
make you
NyQuil.
most relatable. That'll be relatable. And honestly, though you don't want it to be the first one, it's not that it won't be many of the ones in the middle.
I know, right? Like, okay, so it's funny. We already have followers.
I know, because I was showing people and I'm like, click follow.
So I'm like, we're gonna have to release some content, so we'll have to figure out
We
what
can
the
take a snippet of this that's the funniest and be like, coming under production, coming soon. We can put the logo, then we can take a snippet of this and we'd be like, it's coming, and then people will be like, woo, yeah.
Yeah, you say that. I haven't showered or put any makeup on, Kelly.
Right. We can alternate. It'd be like, okay, you be the boozy bitch this time, and I'll be the.
I'm freaking. Who takes NyQuil in the middle of the day? Me, so I can rest because everything else has uppers in it, and I'm just laying there going, "I should be working. I should be working. Why am I not working? I should be working."
You on a downer like NyQuil is probably then putting you at a level of most normal people. So it'd be like, that's good. She's very calm today.
Look how calm and put together Christy is.
Chrissy's so professional.
She's so professional today. She's just
She
showing
didn't
up.
swear. She didn't swear one time.
Oh, see, let's what is the definition of professionalism? Let's look that up. I want to look that up. What is the definition? Because you hear that crap all the time. Professional. What does it mean? I think it just means to be paid, but let's look. You have to get paid. Hold on.
I think it depends what industry you're talking about. Right. Yes. If you get paid by default, you are
definition
a professional.
Of professional. Let's see. The definition of professionalism is the competence or skill expected of a professional. The practicing of an activity, especially a sport, by a professional rather than amateur players. That doesn't really say anything. Let's try something else. This is the dictionary.
I was pretty sure you weren't allowed to use the word in the definition of the word.
I know.
Very circular logic.
It is. Okay. It must have been written by a lawyer. Sorry.
You just look up professionalism and then just do an image search, and then the day that we do that and either one of our photos shows up, then we worry about it. In the midterm, we'll just keep being ourselves. Okay. So that's what we should define, is what do we think being badass is?
Me. Just kidding.
Okay, let me ask it a different way. When you feel your most badass, what are you doing, saying, wearing? Like, what's happening that you're like, I'm feeling badass right now?
So it's funny that you say, why would you wear a dress, right? For me, I'm like, a dress is a whole outfit. Like it's everything. It's one garment that is everything.
Huh.
And when I am wearing a black dress, stiletto heels, and a shit ton of jewelry, and my
You
nails are
feel
did,
badass? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's
Especially
funny.
because the blonde and the black contrast. Also, this shirt's
Yeah.
dirty. I wore it to bed last night. This
Also,
is
it's 2 p.m. and I'm wearing my nighttime shirt. I looked up the noun, the definition in the Oxford language, of course, because, we are both British. A noun of badass meaning uncompromising or intimidating as a person, and then an adjective tough, uncompromising, intimidating. So and I have another friend who's like that. When she is in stilettos and a pencil skirt, I know she is in her badass moment. And for me, that's the opposite. So if I'm in a dress or a skirt, that's a good time to ask me for shit you want because I'm in a more like feminine, friendly way. If I am in a full suit, God forbid I put a vest and a tie on because I have done that before. And Emery was like, "Are you firing someone today?" That is when I feel my most intimidating. And then I'm
mm.
sure it's because I'm 6 feet tall, and then you wear the heels, and then you have like what is traditionally more male and masculine and intimidating. But that for me is badass. Dress, opposite. But I get it. You have way more feminine energy than I do.
Well, but it's like, you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what's her name? I'm blanking on it. Meredith is her name. And when
Meredith.
I am wearing, so I'm roughly 5'7". And so when I'm wearing 4-inch heels, I'm pretty tall. And there's something I think more terrifying about a female badass than a male badass. And I think that's what it is for me.
Like the
Because
femininity plus badassery, like the combo, then
the
it's like,
combo of the two is
yeah,
like, not only can I rule the world, but I can have the
yes,
babies that will rule the freaking world. Like, I
yes.
don't know, there's something to that I just always
Huh.
feel like when I'm like, okay, I'm scared shitless. I do have to tell you, one of the things I was most afraid of doing was presenting to a group of engineers in Chicago. I made some really dumb mistakes on that, it was DC. Made some really dumb mistakes on that one. First of all, we ended up in the Department of Justice. Clearly didn't belong there instead of where we were supposed to be going. They asked for our IDs, and I'm like, wait a minute,
Well, I
Jacqueline,
mean,
where
Christy
are we?
does, Christy sometimes does belong in the Department of Justice, but
I
maybe not
mean,
that day.
not that day. So, anyways, like an idiot, I wore a silk shirt.
Oh,
So I
sweat.
was wearing, well, it was humid. It's in
Oh, no.
DC, and it
Yeah.
was like spitting rain. Okay, Jacqueline, who I work with, who I adore, one of my best friends, her one job was to get us there because I was presenting, and I was presenting marketing to a bunch of engineering, like professors and
Oh,
above.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's
Their
intimidating. Like,
their their favorite kind of topic, creative things.
right. But you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, it was pretty good. I like broke it down into engineering terms. I'm like, here's the
Okay.
equation, here's the marketing equation, whatever. Anyways, so we're walking out from the hotel and I'm nervous and I tend to sweat heavily anyways, especially cuz I'm in my mid 40s and there's all kinds of things happening with my body. But yeah, so Jacqueline is one of those people, as it turns out, that's more like find your route versus just plug in the address and freaking turn, 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 turn. So we're walking. My hair's getting bigger by the moment because it's naturally curly. So like I'm starting to get like 80s hair like this. I by the time we finally get there, I'm not even kidding. My shirt, I had sweat through it. I was pouring sweat. Like I couldn't stop. It was so
No.
embarrassing. I go in the bathroom and I've got like paper towels
Dab,
stuck to my
dab.
head.
You're
I'm
like
just
a sweaty blonde Monica Geller, and you're like, "Fuck,
it's so
pull it together, man."
oh, it was so disgusting. And then what happened was great because I just didn't care anymore. So I
Yeah.
went in there
Couldn't get worse.
like I couldn't feel any worse than I do right freaking now. So I just went in there and was like, listen, this is marketing. Here's how we do it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
This is all good stuff up here. Trust the
So
sweaty, frizzy lady at the front. She's slightly scary. Just give her what she wants and let her go.
oh
I I
my
love it.
gosh.
I love a big heel until my feet turned 40. And then my feet were like, we're not into this anymore.
No more.
Specifically, just my big toe on my right foot. Here's my theory about aging as a woman. I think that you go through decades where you're either like in your physical prime or your emotional prime or your mental prime, but you can never have all of them at the same time. So by the time you get to like your late 40s and maybe early 50s, depending on, I think, how old you were when you bloomed, um, you're like, you got your profession and you feel confident about what you know and what you do. And so you're feeling pretty good. And I actually do think that we get more beautiful as we get older. And then your body's like, oh, okay. I think you might be getting a little too big for your britches. So I'm going to bring you down a peg. So pick something. It's either you're sweating all the time or your waist is now a fucking circle or your toes are mad about
or
being
you
crammed into shoes.
or you pee yourself.
Or that's just a given. We had this whole discussion. We had a whole discussion about it at work the other day because it's like I can hold it, and you go into meetings, you're like, "Who am I kidding? I have pushed humans out. I'm not holding it. BRB. I got to run."
And one
Yesterday, I had to
sneeze.
do that.
And one
Yesterday, I did that. That's right. Somebody says one thing funny in this meeting, and I'm fucked. So it's like, good news is not often are meetings funny, but yeah, I was like, I gotta leave. You guys bombarded my office, and now I have to pee.
Well, should that ever be a thing for you? A real thing. I'm having surgery at some point to get my thing taken care of, but there's this great product. It's called Thinks, and I got it for my mom. She was wearing
Oh, underwear. The
yeah,
underwear
yeah,
for
yeah.
bladder. Yeah,
So
100%.
she was wearing like these like pretty looking diapers.
Yeah.
And my mom is still a very proud woman and all of those things. And I bought her her expense, I found the Thinks thing, and I knew they did it for periods, but then they released a line for incontinence.
Oh,
And
yeah.
man, she freaking loves those things. And then one of my sisters the other day was like, "Hey, what was that underwear you got from mom?" I'm like, "Oh, are we having problems in that area?"
Well, so Nix is a brand. KNIX is a brand.
Okay.
And I've worn them for a decade. It's probably my dog's favorite underwear to eat. That's a topic for another day. But they are leak-proof underwear, so good for incontinence and or periods or whatever.
I mean,
And then they started to do the period underwear, which is like brilliant, especially overnight and for teenagers. Like nobody wants that business. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that for Presley because like Presley's blooming. Like I had to get her bras. I mean, she's only 10, but I
No,
had to
they're
get her.
great. They even have the like boy underwear, like the boy briefs, so they could just wear them as bottoms. And I think they're great. I think I got them for Emery way years ago, and I don't think she appreciated them until she was older. And now she's like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Because at night, who wants to like wake up to an accident? Like where you bled through. This is TMI on any episode where we use words like bled through.
TMI.
Or just put it at the E at the start of our whole logo and just approach with caution.
Everything. Approach with caution. Approach with caution,
But
Kelly.
I do appreciate a girl who's feeling her most badass in a dress. Do you remember Jessica Pearson from Suits?
Yes.
Gina Torres is the actress. She is 6 feet
Hmm.
tall. If I could put every single thing she ever wore on, I would wear that. And it was always dresses. I don't think she could always sit down and maybe could never eat lunch in them because they were so tight. But damn, she looked good. Versus like a Donna who was very flowy and girly dressy. But I am definitely I am like Harvey Specter with heels. I would rather be that guy, but a girl. But I would love to drink scotch because it feels fancy, but it tastes gross. But yeah, that for me is
I
badass.
love scotch. I just can't drink it because you just don't know what you're getting.
Well, that's another age thing. Now I just can't. The other day I drank wine and I couldn't breathe out of my nose for like 18 hours. Oh, this is the ultimate insult.
What?
It's like, I don't know what's happening. No more heels, no more booze. What's left?
I guess just money and travel.
Just travel and curse words, baby. That's all that I'm allowed to do. Cuss and
Uh,
travel. I'm into it. That's
don't
fine.
combine the two too much because they'll get you thrown out of place.
I have a Canadian passport. It makes me nicer. They'd be like, "Oh, that's so cute. Look at that sweary Canadian. Let her through. You be fucked." They'd be like, "That's a cussy American. Don't let her through."
Listen, I would just like to say this. I mean, I have been pulled out of line in Mexico to be searched again, but I think it was more because I was cute. But
I mean, sure.
but
I like that you are looking on the positive side of
I
life.
will tell you this. Airports, when I walk into an airport, I plaster a smile on my face. I smile at everyone. I greet everyone because I feel like everyone is anxious as hell. And like those poor TSA people get yelled at nonstop. And
Yes.
so I'm just like, I walk through an airport like a ray of sunshine. I'm like,
Let me
eyes up. Hi, everyone. Is everyone okay? Are you guys okay? Are we all okay? We're about to get on a
let
plane.
me
We
ask
might die. Let's all smile.
let me ask you, why do you reserve that just for airports? It's
I don't. I
Oh,
use it
okay.
for Walmart. I use it at Walmart too.
Walmart. Everybody's on a hair trigger in here. It's a Walmart in Kansas. I best just be on my best behavior. I listen. I have. It's hard to be friendly all the time because then if you're in a mood, people are like, "Fuck, what's wrong with her?" Like my kids know they're safer when mom is smiling or raging, but when mom's quiet and she sits back in her chair, uh-oh.
Presley the other day, I had to get after her for something. I don't know, one of the many billion things I have to get after her about. And I had to get pretty intense with her because she just would not freaking listen.
Mm.
And she's like, I want nice, fun mom back. Where is she?
She's not,
Like,
she was
she's
holiday
not
mom.
here.
She's gone. She died. Yeah.
She
My
died when I asked you to pick up your underwear off my floor for the 1600th time. That
my
killed her. You killed
my
her.
kids call that is my dark voice. Oh, you used your dark voice. I'm thinking, bro, you have no idea how dark my voice could get. My rage voice. That one I reserve mostly for my husband or after bad calls at work where you go back in your car and you're like,
You ever on those calls, Kelly, where your video suddenly goes out?
yeah, exactly. That's because my
Because
face can't lie. Oh, be
I'm
bad
like,
connection.
oh, I'm having some issues here, and I turn off the camera because I'm just like, is this happening? Are you kidding me? It.
Well,
Listen, it is 77 degrees up where I'm sitting because for whatever reason it's so cold outside, and I have the heater thing running, and the downstairs is 68 and the upstairs is 77, and I'm already red, and every time you make me laugh I get redder and redder. I'm gonna look like a giant tomato by the end of this.
well, you're gonna have to fix that part. I can't guarantee I can't make you laugh. I
that's
would not
kind
be doing my job very well if you never laughed. Just,
that's kind of the point, isn't it? To laugh,
yes, it
maybe to
is the
laugh,
point.
to think, to learn, to grow as humans.
Eat, pray, love. No.
Can I tell you that I hated that book but I love the freaking movie?
Can I tell you that I didn't know Game of Thrones was a book before it was a TV show?
Also, Kelly, The Wizard of Oz. That's a book. That's like 12 books, actually.
Wait, it's a series of books? What the fuck are you talking about? Was
Are you
it before?
serious?
Listen.
When I was growing up and not allowed to watch TV because we were part of this like cult, and the Cosbys were way, way too controversial because my dad thought the kids were brats. Yeah, so I did a lot of reading, and there are 12 Oz books, I believe. I have them downstairs.
I'm pretty sure that the movie came out before you were. I'm pretty sure that the movie came out before you were kids, or maybe they wrote the books after the movie. I don't know. We will have to search this.
No,
Yeah, the
Frank Baum wrote the
Cosbys.
books.
I'm just thinking the Cosbys was the worst thing that was on TV that your parents were isolating you from. I wasn't allowed to listen to Cyndi Lauper's song "Witness" because my mother thought it was a slam against Jehovah's Witnesses. That's, she is what, and I thought, pretty sure she's not singing about your religion because
Doesn't sound like it.
the song was, I don't want to be a witness.
Oh
And
God.
so my mom was like, "You can't listen to that." And I'm like, "What? That's not what she's talking about."
I'm a God person. There's signs all the time. I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm crazy. I'm like, there are signs all around me. But random affirmations, or the other day I was walking through the airport and this woman like hugged me after we got through TSA, and she's just like, this is crazy. She's like, you are just so much good energy, and like you made everyone's day better. Can I hug you? And I'm like,
What'd you do on the plane? What kind of shenanigans did you
it
get up
wasn't on
to?
the plane. It was in it
Oh,
was in
in
the
the
line for
airport?
security. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
It
okay.
was in it was at the tensest place, right? You know, except for Southwest when you're lining up for your seat. But
Is that
you
the
know,
census place?
I don't know. I can't with that.
That's what I have to do tomorrow morning for a 5:45 a.m. flight. I've never flown Southwest.
It's not it's not that tense.
It's
I'm
gonna be
kind of
fun.
afraid to fly, so I like to have my seat that I picked out, and
Ah,
I
you
have
don't
my
like the unknown.
little. I don't
Yes.
like. Well, I love the unknown in some capacities, not when I'm flying through, barreling through the air.
I knew
You
you didn't
know?
like flying. I explained to Andrew that last time I saw you, how you had like 3 martinis in 30 minutes because you had to fly. I'm like, "What are you doing? You gotta get to the airport." You're like, "I need to have a sleep. Mama needs to sleep through this flight." I have not, you and Andrew can never fly together because he also hates flying. The two of you would be like a couple of chihuahuas on a plane, worried and
Well,
fretting.
I think it's because the first time I was 14 and I was on a plane and it was really, really turbulent, and it was like the first time I thought I could die. So I think that's why. That's why.
That or just that you have zero control, and that's probably what it stems from.
Well, yeah, and there's also the whole fear of, but like in a car when someone else is driving, unless it's my ex-husband, I don't care. Should we do one introduction?
I think we should do a how I met first impressions of one another.
Kelly, you got on the phone and instantly started talking about the female orgasm, and we were supposed to be talking about cardiology, and I was like, all right, I like this bitch. Literally, I'm Kelly. I'm from Canada. I come from this company that I don't even remember the name of the company, but I just remember then you spent the next 10 minutes talking about the female orgasm. And I was
I
like,
feel like I was probably talking about libido, but your brain went to orgasm because I went,
whatever. Whatever,
whatever. You're
bro.
like, I'm gonna get the two are intricately tied, and
I
you
guess.
said this is my future BFF right there on that camera.
I literally was like, I will be the only person on our team to work with this woman. She is mine. I own her. Own her. What was yours of me?
I remember I think I'd been on a couple three actually I've been on quite a few calls with your group because we had a few projects going, right? And then I think when I got on the call with you, it was just my own project, right? We were just talking, hence the discussion about libido as opposed to cardiology. And I just remember the other folks that you were working with very professional and not quiet, just kind of like respectful of the environment that we work in. And then you came on, and you're just like, boom, blonde, hi, just like, oh yeah, I agree. And I was like, oh, this girl doesn't get, I would say like unflappable. I was like, oh,
Aw.
we could be friends for sure. I like you're quick. Like you're always really quick about what about this? We could do this. Um, I now know where that stems from. But at the time I was like, wow, she's got so many ideas. Yeah, that's funny. And
Hey,
then I
they're
think,
still my ideas. Just because
oh
I
yeah,
am ADD, they're still my
they still
ideas.
came from your brain. They're all yours. I think that I don't, when did we actually meet in real life? Like
One time.
2 years later though, right?
Yeah, it was like 2 years later because I didn't go to the shoot that we did,
Yeah.
and we were supposed to meet for
We were
drinks at ACC, and then your flight was delayed and delayed and delayed, and we like high fived, slammed a
in
martini in
the
a bar,
bar at the hotel. And
and
it
then
and but didn't don't you remember, I at least remember being like, sure, we had met before. Like physically, I knew, like it felt like we'd been in the same room many times. And you were the one who was like, we've never actually met in person. I'm like, that's impossible.
There's no way
It's like,
that's
it
happened.
was like a 90-day fiance kind of moment where you're like, no, we've definitely met before.
Well, and then, then I'm just like, hey, let me come to your house.
Hey, weirdo, I'm coming to your house.
Hey, Christy, we should do our podcast. Cool. What are you doing on the 26th of December? That day right after Christmas. Yeah, I'm just going to come to your house, Kelly. How does that sound?
However many states over. And then I was like, oh, I gotta like let my family know we have a house guest. How do I describe this person? Like, do you work with her? Well, no, but I
No.
used to, but I,
And
you've
we're
never
going to again.
too funny. I mean, sometimes people come into your life for a reason. So,
Well, I think you came into my life to make me laugh.
oh, nice.
Because I wasn't even going to get on the phone with you today because I'm sick and I feel like hell and all I want to do is go back to bed and crawl into a hole.
Oh,
And I had a call with you before this and I got so much energy off of you on that call. I was like, fine, let's just start recording it.
let's
Maybe
just
we'll
do it.
use it. Maybe we won't. Let's just do it. Because now I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I'm an overshare on the best of times. And so I'm like, when I'm excited about something, telling lots of people about it. When's your first episode? And I'm like, we've really got to just rip the Band-Aid and get the first one on the books. We'll figure it out. Fail fast. We can get out of our own heads and just,
Yeah.
and we'll just talk about a whole bunch of shit. We got lots of topics. We can
Yeah,
get
we
to
have plenty of topics. Mornings, it's been about shit and pee in my house. So yesterday morning, okay, get up. The dog, I'm gonna conquer today. I got up, I was like, here we go, take care of everything, work out, do my thing. Yeah, I'm killing it.
crushing it.
And then all of a sudden, Presley's like, Mom, Sunny has poop on her butt and wiped it all over my bed. So I have to go get the dog. And it's just, there's shit everywhere. Like, it's not like a spot cleanup situation. So I'm dressed, looking actually nice, and I have to give the dog a quick bath while yelling at the kids to get ready because, whatever, and strip her bed down. And then, of course, my son wet his bed last night. So walked into me this morning and was like, Mom, I peed. I'm like, great.
My dog decided the other day he would eat my brand new Christmas Skims pajamas. And by eat them I mean just the crotch. And by the crotch I mean like 8-inch circle. I mean, so I get a text with a picture of my gaping hole in my pajama bottoms and Emery's like, what do we do? And I was like, for fuck's sake. And you're in meetings, right? Talk about why women are multitasking. I'm in a meeting on a call. And I'm like, when did he eat him? Oh, maybe 10 minutes ago. Okay, go to this bathroom, look for this. And hydrogen peroxide. We're going to make him barf. We don't have any. Go to CVS, buy 3% hydrogen peroxide. Come home. Here's where the turkey baster is. Here's what I need to put in his throat. Take him outside, 70 mils. Chuck it down his throat. Make sure he swallows it. Stay outside. He's going to hurl. And then I FaceTime her and I'm like, turn the camera around. I want to watch this fucking dog puke up my pajama bottoms before we have to take him to yet another vet appointment and get his damn proclivity for underwear removed from his stomach. This dog loves his mom in a weird way. So that was
maybe not talk about that. Just kidding. I almost killed my dog. I didn't know this trick you just said, this hydrogen peroxide. Talk to me about this because I ended up.
What did Sunny eat?
Sunny,
Sock?
okay, so no, it was around Halloween and I was being busy and not thinking and grabbed a bunch of candy, right? And I put it in my closet on the floor because I haven't had a dog like ever until, well, I mean, they were outside dogs growing up, but like,
yeah.
Sunny's a whole different ball game. And, so I come in, I leave the house for go outside for a minute because I kennel her. Whenever we're not there, she's in her kennel. She sleeps in her kennel. She loves her kennel, like whatever. And so, because I'm not into coming home to messes. I just can't deal with it. I'm going to lose my, I mean, she eats my underwear that costs $1 billion and be like, I don't have $1 billion underwear. Mine's all from Target.
To be
Super,
clear, they're
just
$5.
to be clear, they're $5. Walmart if it's been a rough week. And so anyways,
Everyone has those underwear.
well, I used to wear fate. Wait, never mind. I digress. So, anywho, so like, because I put it like in my closet behind something, so I'm just thinking that my kids won't get it.
Right, right. You're not hiding it from the dog. You're hiding it from the children.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
come in and there's like all these mini Twix bars wrappers, and like literally 8 fun size candy bar wrappers,
Shoot.
and I'm like,
This is
oh
like,
my god, I killed my dog. Like I'm freaking out because like my kids would kill me. Like that would be the end of mom. And so I call the vet. At first I'm like, well, what do I don't even know what to do. I call the vet and they're like, so how big is she? And I
yeah.
was
Well, how
like,
many
oh
pounds was
yeah.
she? Yeah.
How much do you think she ate? I'm like, oh, I don't know, 6 to 8 fun size bars. And they're like, you're gonna need to bring her in. She's probably at a toxic level of chocolate.
You're killing it, Ma. What do they actually give them, or do they just bolus them with saline or something to sort
I
of
think it
water it down?
they induce vomiting. They
Do they?
I think it's Epicac or something like that
Ipecac, that
from
stuff
like
that you could get when you were a kid if you had that kind of mom, which I did. You know what Ipecac is? Yeah, you can give that to a dog, but you can also do like I don't know what the dose for Ipecac would be because I think you buy them in tiny bottles, but you can
I
also
just know
do
Epicac from Anne of Green Gables.
they maybe also do activated charcoal, which is what they do for people who've like tried to commit suicide and they bring them into the merge and they're but I digress. You can also just use 3% hydrogen peroxide, and I don't
Write that
recommend,
down.
and it's like 5 to 10 milliliters per 10 pounds of dog. So you can just do the math or ballpark it. And because he's like 70 pounds, I put it in a turkey baster because you got to get it down his throat. And you're not going to use a little syringe and be like, here's a spoon, honey, take your medicine. You're just jam a fucking thing down the dog's throat.
That's how I
Anyways.
give coldness medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Same
Exactly.
way.
Aggressively jam it down his throat, like all good moms.
Just take
And
your medicine.
yeah, just take your medicine. So then they will take him outside because like less than 5 minutes they're hurling and in a big way. I don't think you should probably do it too often. I imagine that's pretty corrosive to their esophagus. But in a pinch, I'm like, you have to do it within like an hour or so of them eating it at most because you don't want it to have already started to go down into their intestines because they're not barfing it out of their intestine. It has to be in their stomach still. So that's why I was like, how long ago did he eat it? And when she said like 10 minutes ago, she was in the bathroom and then he went spelunking in my bathroom. And so I was like, okay, then it's definitely still in his stomach. And sure enough, puked it all out. Did we get the hose? And by we, I mean my husband, because I was at work. Did he hose all the puke to grab the material, to jigsaw puzzle it back together and hold it against the pants and go, did we get it all? Yes. These are things that are not in the you should buy a dog brochure because people would be like, hard pass. They wipe their bum with poo on your bed and they eat your shit, and then you have to get them to puke and check how much it was. No, thank you.
Contact your local humane society to adopt your dog today.
But dogs are life.
But they
I
are,
love my dog.
I was not a dog lover. I don't like the smell and I don't like animals. And when I was young, I got bit by a dog. One of my ears is shorter than the other one. And I just never understood the attraction. I mean, I think they're cute.
Yeah.
But then I got Sunny. And I got Sunny for my daughter because my kids had begged. Presley like came out of the womb and was like, "Can I have a dog?" She just loves dogs, and so does Colton. And I got back from a business trip, and the mom guilt starts to seep in
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've
You're
been
gone.
gone.
You're
I've
a
been
terrible
gone.
human.
I'm a terrible human. I'm
Terrible
just
human.
paying for the roof over your head, your college, all your cute clothes, your in sports, all your lifestyle stuff. But so mom guilt. Presley was like 8 at the time. Mom guilt kicks in, and her and I go for a walk, and it's just Sunny. It's like the type of walks you go on where we have like this woods behind us. It's like paved like 36 miles of paths behind my house. And we're walking through and like the sun's starting to set and it's just that like magic hour with those glimmering rays coming in, through the trees. And Presley's like, Mommy, I really want a dog. And I was like,
This is the moment.
And I said, well, Presley, if you got a dog, what would you name him? And she looked at me, and I'm not even kidding, like halo glowing angel of God descended, Sunny. And I looked at her and I said, well, it's a dog named Sunny for Presley. Can we name it
There you
Elvis? And she said no. And within a month, I found this. We have a micro mini golden. She's
go. Yeah.
wonderful, and
Yeah.
it's taken me 2 years, but I finally love the dog.
Well,
2
I don't
years.
know. Yeah. I mean, the dogs that we had growing up when we were kids that were outside dogs there's no such thing. I think you actually would get arrested if you kept your dog outside right now. The dogs that we have right now are people. Like we look at, especially Doodles. Like I look at Oliver and we're all sure he was a human in another life. We're just like, we know you can talk, just tell us who you were. Like there's no way you're a dog inside there. So they are just like humans. And I get it. But I love them from the minute I would take all the dogs. Here's what I notice. If people are walking with a dog, I don't even look at who the people are. I could describe
Just look
everything
at
about the dog. Even if I'm driving by them walking with the dog, I out loud in my own car with the windows up. They can't hear me. I'm like, oh my goodness, hi there. You're so cute. And then I drive on. And then if you said, who is walking the dog?
I don't know.
TBD. I don't know. I didn't look.
Couldn't tell you
So
sex,
in
color,
order of priority, it's
height,
like
male,
dog. Yes.
dog,
This is like
dog.
dog. And then oh yeah, there was a human. It was of this type, and yeah, I'm
Well,
bad.
Oliver, I think just thinks he's a lap dog. Like
Oh, definitely.
Oliver thinks he's much smaller than he is. Like he's got whatever body dysmorphia, but the other way.
Yeah.
Like, he looks in the mirror and sees this little tiny dog because he gets up on your lap like there's room. You're like, hey, bro,
Wasn't
you're
that
70
wasn't there a
pounds.
kid story? There was a kid story like Ferdinand the Bull or something who thought he was small. That's Oliver. He's like, I'm just a wee little lap dog who happens to be 70 pounds. How
70
maybe
pounds.
it's because his mom's lap is too long. I got long legs. Maybe he's
I
like,
think
that's a regular size lap for a regular size dog.
clearly it's your fault because you're the mom.
Oh,
It will
definitely.
always be your fault because
It's
you're
my
the
fault
mom.
he ate the underwear because one, it was mine, and two, they were out. And so nobody puts
Well,
my shit away.
why didn't you close the bathroom door?
Well, yeah, I wasn't the last one in the bathroom. But why were your pajamas in the bathroom? All the things. I'm like, yeah, that was on me. We could do a whole series, a season of podcasts around shit that's mom's fault.
No,
And
it's simple. Everything.